Thanks for tuning in. This is the Sweet Cyclist. Today we're going to be reviewing the Fabric Lumasense V2 rear taillight. So here we have Fabric's latest Lumasense V2 rear taillight. This has been updated to have more power output, and it has a really unique form factor as well as an accelerometer which actually adjusts the output when it detects deceleration. Packaging wise, you can see really well done. You have simple graphics with really high contrast lettering on here. You have all the features highlighted here, as well as the light itself prominently displayed in this little plastic window. It also has a little cutout here so you can interact with the power button, which is a nice feature. On the back you can see more specifications. It's USB rechargeable, the strap, and the run times per mode. Let's go ahead and take it out of the packaging and review some of the specs. The retail price on this taillight is $40. As I mentioned, it has an accelerometer, which will actually adjust the output when it detects deceleration. Has a maximum of 100 lumens when it's in that deceleration boost mode, and up to 20 hours of runtime in the flash mode. Inside the packaging, you can see really simple. You have a plastic container with cardboard backing. Now you'll have the packaging, you have the user manual, really nice USB cable here, it's a micro USB, and it's a braided design, which I haven't seen before on other taillights. Then you have the taillight with the mount already attached. Now this is designed for round C-posts, as well as a little rubber strap here to hold it in place, which feels pretty secure. Now let's take a look at the weight of the Lumasense. So the mount by itself comes in at 16 grams, while the taillight comes in at 34. So now let's take a closer look at the fit and finish of the Lumasense V2 taillight. What makes the taillight unique is the cylindrical design. You can see it looks more like a battery than a typical taillight. It's all plastic, the plastic lens and a plastic body, and it's fairly light because of that. If we look at the face of the taillight, you can see you have that cob LED board here. If I turn on the light, you can see there's little individual LEDs on here that gives it a really nice uniform look. So I really like that compared to traditional single LED designs. You have a Fabric logo on top, and then on the bottom you have these little grippy portions that make it easier to grab and adjust. On top you have the USB port cover. This is pretty well designed. You can see it's a rather thick gasket and fits really well. It's a USB, it's not a USB Type-C, it's a USB Type-A. We're starting to see more USB Type-C taillights on the market, but the bicycle industry has been a little slow to adopt that. The power button is located in the bottom, and it's a nice grippy, large button, really easy to grab even with gloves. On back, it's pretty unadorned, and you have these little slots on the side. So if we take a look at the mount, you can see once this pops in place, those little divots slide on the mount itself. And this is really secure. It's quite hard to actually take the taillight off the mount. So even if you hit a big pothole, it'll stay in place. The mount consists of the simple holder. And again, you can see it has 3 hooks for the supplied strap, and a nice thick rubber gasket here to prevent scratching your frame. Note this is only going to work on round C-tubes, not a arrow C-post. Now the strap is pretty thick, and it has a talon design, so 2 hooks on the side. We pop it in and then wrap it around. So it holds pretty well and fairly adjustable. It's also a lot thicker than other rubber straps, so it should definitely last. Operation-wise, the taillight works by holding the button for 3 seconds. Now there's no mode memory, so I'll always turn on the flashing mode. A single click to cycle through the different modes, and then a long hold again, 3 seconds to shut it off. Now let's take a look at the Lumasense braking sensor in action. As you can see here, I have disrupt mode, and as I come to a stop, it will revert to the 100 lumen boosted steady mode for maximum attention. Although the sensor is pretty well calibrated, as you can see in other ride footage, it will get triggered if you hit potholes or bumps, so you will get false positives, but compared to other lights we've tested, we found that it's pretty good. Also, overall, the light works pretty well even in daytime or nighttime, despite the only 30 lumen output, thanks to that 100 lumen boost. Now there's also 4 different modes available with the Lumasense. There's high with the 30 lumens, 8 hours. Fabric doesn't publish the lumens for the others modes, but there's low for 15 hours of runtime. Disrupt, which is an irregular flash for up to 20 hours. And then finally a normal flash with 10 hours. So you get pretty good runtime. So now let's compare the Lumasense versus some other taillights on the market. What I've arranged here is everything from a simple taillight on the far left with no sensors all the way up to a all aluminum replaceable battery, a light sensor, and a brake sensor model. So starting from the far left, this is a Planet Bike Rojo 100. This has USB Type-C charging, and comparing it to the Fabric, you can see it's bulkier, but at $35 it undercuts the $40 Lumasense price and has no sensors. However, again, the form factor of the Lumasense is what really sets it apart. It's a little bit sleeker and smaller, and has the brake sensor feature. Another light with a brake sensor feature that we've reviewed here is the Magicshine Seemee 60. Again, this is a $35 taillight. Has up to 60 lumens, so less power, and slightly cheaper. It also has a cob LED design, which I think kind of makes it a little bit more unique than some other taillights on the market. Now, what I didn't like about the Seemee 60 was that the brake light sensor was pretty sensitive, which I like about the Lumasense. So it's less sensitive, and unlike the Magicshine, which would set off on any pothole, the Lumasense is a little better calibrated and will only really activate when you're accelerating. Now, as you go up on the market, more expensive taillights, you get more features. So here we have the Bontrager Flare RT. This has ANT Plus connectivity, which means you can actually pair it with a computer to actually control the output mode, monitor the battery. So really nice feature. In terms of form factor, a lot smaller, about half the size. But at $60, it's more expensive. And it only has a light sensor, but not a brake sensor. So that's one negative. Now, if you want to spend even more, we have the Lupine Rotlicht. This is the max version with the larger battery. This is $140, but it's all aluminum, replaceable battery, has an ambient light sensor and a brake sensor, as well as full configurability to turn those sensors off, as well as sensitivity. But as you can see, you pay a price in terms of bulkiness. So a lot bigger, heavier, and obviously a lot more expensive. So I think the Lumasense is pretty well designed for the market. The price is in line with other lights, and the sensitivity and calibration of the brake sensor makes it a lot more usable. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Lumasense. What I liked about the taillight is the great side visibility with that wraparound cob LED design. You get really good visibility from different angles, which improves your safety in the day or night. I also like the unique cylindrical form factor of the taillight. It makes it more unique than other taillights on the market. And finally, the well-calibrated braking sensor. It's not foolproof, but it's less sensitive than other taillights we've tested. And when you're actually braking, it does seem to consistently work. What I don't like about the taillight is the lack of mode memory. This means it always turns on in the same mode. And that can be really annoying if you always have to switch it. Also, there's no other mounts available with this, so it's really only good for a round seat post. Also, it lacks a clear battery status checker. It only has that low battery warning, which is pretty easy to miss, especially on the taillight. Taking everything into account, I would give the Lumasense V2 a 9.0 out of 10. I think it's a pretty sleek taillight with modern features. I like the fact that it has a brake sensor that's less sensitive than others on the market. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more content from us, you can visit our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.